the first quarter. So on the ensuing drive, La Sierra would capitalize in the second quarter. Noel Quinones plows in for the score. That makes it 14-6. Still in the second quarter, Hernandez to Stringfellow. Again, that's a great combination. 21-6. The Rancho Verde up. Still in the second. Johnny Salazar trying to get his team back in the game. Hooks up with R.J. Smith for a touchdown. That makes it 21-13. So La Sierra hanging around. Still in the second. Hernandez to Kenny Torrance. He's going 54 yards on this run. And the Mustangs go up 27-13. Still in the second quarter. And the Rancho Verde not done yet. Hernandez to Torrance. This one goes in for a score, 34-13. And the Rancho Verde gets one more before halftime. Hernandez to Dion Becton. He's in for the touchdown, 42-13 at the half. Mustangs leading, but La Sierra not going away. Salazar to R.J. Smith. Again, another score. That makes it 42-21, but the Rancho Verde would keep their foot on the gas. Hernandez to Jamian Lindsay in for the score. 49-21. The Rancho Verde improves to 6-0.
All right, Pep,
with the
this is Citrus Hill, and they are running out. They're serious, undefeated right now, going into the Mountain Pass League play. First play, Davian Payne making a long run for a touchdown. I'm not even sure how long it is, 60, 70 yards. It doesn't matter. He's going to score the touchdown here. And we're going to see Beaumont's lone highlight here with the Hawks leading 7-0. This is going to be Josh Martin making a big run for a first down for the Cougars. Big run here. They're going to be taken out about the 40-yard line. Then Martin back to pass to Arthur Perez. Nope, intercepted by Jason Smith, who's going to run it back for the score. But they're going to have penalties. He's going to take it way, way back. You saw the penalty back there in a minute. All right, so that's going to set up this play, and they were deep. Here is Trevor Hodge to Kai Young, who just breaks tackles, tries to get loose down to about the 32-yard line before he's pulled down, called the 33. And then this play to Kai Young, the play of the night, one of the best plays of the night. Look at that run. We're not sure about the photographer, but a touchdown pass nonetheless. All right, now during the kickoff, Beaumont's going to fumble this next one at to the 15-yard line. It's going to set up Citrus Hill again. You see the ball kind of wiggle out there, Pep, and down to the 15, down to the 17-yard line. Trevor Hodge now is going to basically break loose here, up the gut, touchdown, Citrus Hill. 21-0 now, 4:13 left to go in the fourth quarter. Now here it is, Hodge again, this time to James Cleveland, who rolls out, makes the catch down to about the 18-yard line. And that was amazing. And then basically they had to settle for they scored again. Then they're going to get a field goal. And then a punt and return now. This is going to be Andre Mitchell and a 60-yard punt and return for the Hawks. And they rolled over Beaumont tonight, 45-7. Impressive win nonetheless on the night. So there you go. That's a couple of our highlights.
Hey, Lewis, I just want to put out there, we still need the San Jacinto Talkwitz shot sheet. But I will say
Did he give it to you?
No, he did not. I'm a real connoisseur of Citrus Hill football, and I think, we might double check this, but I think it's KJ Young, not Kai Young, now that I think about it. So I don't have a roster in front of me, but...
Oh, by the way, here's Bill Powell. I don't know what he's saying, so we won't even go back to it. But
the San Jacinto head coach.
San Jacinto head coach. So we'll let that pass. He's talking about something. Maybe his 100th win. I'm not sure.
I see Chris Erickley running around.
Chris Erickley's running barefoot.
He was at the Centennial Santiago game. I'm hoping those video and shot sheet come in very soon. Right. So I know a lot of people would probably like to see that video as well.
Right.
For the big
is it KJ Young or Kai Young? I got. It could be a typo. There are lots of typos in these.
I'm pretty sure it's KJ. I'm a fine connoisseur of Citrus Hill football.
Are you?
And
I would be too.
And I think it's KJ Young, but we could double check.
That's a great catch, though. That's one of the best catches of the night.
Yeah, you know what? He's a great receiver. I know we've said his name several times since the season began, and everyone keys on Davian Payne in the ground game, and that would frees up KJ Young in the passing attack for Citrus Hill.
Since we don't have the shot list here is San Jacinto and Tahakowitz. And early on, looks like Tahakowitz on a touchdown pass into the end zone, leading early 7-0. And then here's Tahakowitz now, a little short pass. San Jacinto's defense breaks a couple of tackles down to the San Jacinto 40, it looks like. That's one of the nicer all-grass fields, by the way. And this should be Noah Widgeons here on one of his long touchdown runs, and he looks good running. He had big long runs of, I think this is one of the 80-yarders on the night, so another touchdown, his first touchdown run of the night. Widgeons, who had 285 yards in this game. San Jacinto improving on the night. Oh, who's this now? Is this?
Yeah, can we get Chris Erkley to do some work around here, around the HS Game Time studios? Because he was at a big game, and I'd love to get him out here to get his video, get his highlights. I see him walking around.
He's not wearing any shoes, by
acting
the way.
like he's busy, but
he's not wearing any shoes.
He was gone last Friday. He's giving me the hold on 1 second universal sign, but he was gone last Friday. We had so many awesome games. Centennial North and Rev and Mission Viejo. He skipped out on us on that Friday. Now he comes back and he's dragging his feet around here. But he'll be here in a second.
Keeper here, by the way, for the Tigers, who are very tough at home. They have won a lot of games there at Tiger Stadium.
And you'll notice both teams are wearing pink, a lot of the pink socks and pink armbands.
I didn't notice the Rancho Verde wearing a lot of pink socks tonight.
La Sierra did, but Rancho Verde did not today. I don't know if they've maybe done it previously last week or they're going to.
We don't really see them too often, though. Here's Widgeons on one of his touchdown runs. He's a good-looking running back. He might be one of the best-looking backs I've seen at San Jacinto. Direct snap up the middle.
You can't stop that.
No.
Just hike him the ball, let him run. It's pretty easy to draw up.
I've seen lots of San Jacinto, lots of San Jacinto football through the years, and a lot of times the running backs they've had through the years have just been little guys, like Emmanuel. What's the kid's name they had? Emmanuel Hamilton, who was pretty good back, but they were little guys, and it's interesting to see a guy like this of his size. San Jacinto just hasn't had a guy like that in a long time.
There he goes, yeah.
I'll have to go to my San Jacinto sources to ask, who the last guy was of this sort of size.
Kind of like Adrian Peterson reminds me, big, strong, and fast.
Nice catch. Look at that. Look at that play right there. A lot of great catches tonight. You're going to have some tough calls on Monday.
On Monday, yeah. We put together the plays of the week. Look at that.
I love
Reaches back, grabs it, and keeps going.
It's so nice to have the ability to have the slow-mo. It really is.
There it is.
Makes for a much better show. Where are we at? What do you want to see next? I'm sort of done with these San Jacinto highlights.
How about North and Poly? Is North Poly in?
North and Poly, it is in. Here it is. Are you ready to go for it? Let's do it. There it is.
From the Big 8, North lost last week against Centennial. How would they bounce back against Riverside Poly? Well, running back Greg Hale did his best to avoid the Huskies, but that's not an easy thing to do. You can ask Greg Hale. He got smashed there after a bad punt snap there on the punt. And it was just bad business for Poly. Backed up deep there. Then North really gets things going. Marcus Ball recovered a fumble in the end zone. Then Justin Georgie, Denzel Myers for touchdown. Georgie doing the work himself there with the touchdown. That was 28-zip in the first quarter. Then a big punt return by Denzel Foster to help set up another score for the Huskies. And there he goes in for the score.
That's Denzel Myers, by the way. And then Justin Georgie's going to run this one in real quick. I think I was behind you on those things.
There he goes. There's
Georgie, right?
Number 5.
He looked good. He looked really good. I got there. This is the punt return right here.
Oh, here it is. Okay, so that's
Denzel Foster.
That's Denzel Foster. Right. Nice return there. That would set up another score for the Huskies. And to Georgie, we know he can throw the ball.
He runs very well.
He can use his legs too. And that goes in for the touchdown. That would make it 35-zip. And one more time, it's coming up. It's going to be Georgie rolling out and hooking up with Myers for the score, 42-zip, the halftime lead. It was a final score of 48-7. So North rolls past Poly and bounces back in a big way after losing to Centennial last week in Big 8 action.
Arlington and Ramona. Arlington and Ramona. Here it is. Here we go. Arlington and Ramona.
And it's my guy R. Kelly. I will bypass on the singing tonight for everyone out there, but Reuben Kelly there with a 25-yard run up the middle. Our own Dave Zink, and I think you were out there at this game.
No, I didn't go out there.
Was it just Zink?
Yeah.
Well, he was telling me he was pretty stoked about Derek Stokes' 43-yard sweep to the right, 7-zip. Arlington has the lead. Then after holding Ramona on downs, Arlington's Romaine Holston returns a punt. Now that's the quarterback, but he's back there returning punts. 53 yards all the way down to the Ramona 25-yard line. So Holston does a lot for the Lions. Then it's Holston back under center. He's going to gain 16 yards on the quarterback keeper. Eludes that tackle, gets inside the 10 there. And then it's going to set up Stokes, knifing the ball up the middle. Is he going to get in for the score? Oh, he's brought down about the 2-yard line, but he would punch it in for the touchdown, and Arlington takes a 14-zip lead. Miller, though, responds with T.J. Miller from Ramona, 44-yard pass to Ryan Lefevre for first and goal at the 8-yard line for the Rams. Then it's Miller, runs a keeper, gets it to about the 1-yard line, right there on the doorstep. Miller would eventually get it in there for the score, cuts the lead to 14-7. Later, Ramona, they regain possession here. They're back on the attack, and it's T.J. Miller. Pulls down the ball, takes off running 25 yards all the way down to the Arlington 5-yard line. And after a penalty and 3 failed attempts at the end zone, Robert Corral kicks a 33-yard field goal to cut the lead to 14-10 in the second quarter. But Arlington would have it answer. Stokes to the house. They go up 21-10 at halftime, and Arlington goes on to hold off Ramona. This was a tight ball game, 28-24 your final score. So Arlington wins a big rivalry game against the Ramona Rams, 28-24 your final score tonight from Ramona High School. And look who just walked in.
Me.
All the way from the Big Easy.
Does Lewis have my microphone on?
No, he doesn't.
I was trying to keep it off because I.
Is it good?
It's really good. We usually try to keep you muted anyways, but we're going to let you talk this time because you, Chris Aaron,
I was at the big Centennial Santiago clash.
Now, I really thought the Sharks were going to put something together tonight. And you texted me. They scored first, right?
Before you come out, I need to take a quick break and do something real quick. So we'll come right back in a minute.
How anti?
Cadillac today. We're conveniently located at 27360 Inez Road between Winchester and Rancho California Road in Temecula.
Do you enjoy watching HS Game Time live on Friday nights? If you do, then you'll love HSGT's Roundup. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, myself and Chris Ercole will bring you all the high school sports action from volleyball to boys water polo, even girls tennis. You name it, we'll have it every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at hsgametime.pe.com. Do you enjoy watching HS Game Time live on Friday nights? If you do, then you'll love HSGT's Roundup. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, myself and Chris Ercole.
We're Mr. Murrieta Cheer, and you're watching HS Game Time Live. We're Mr. Murrieta Cheer.
Hi, it's me, Alicia Renna from Bar's Furniture. If you've got to come down and see what's new, we're now carrying Simply Amish. All solid wood and American made, handcrafted and signed by each artist that builds your furniture. Simply Amish makes every type of furniture for your home. They use 5 different species of wood and have over 50 different colors to choose from. So come in and come home to Bar's Furniture. Voted #1 in 2010 by the Press Enterprises Reader's Choice Awards. We're located at 5664 Mission Boulevard in Riverside.
We're watching HS Game Time live tonight. I'm Pep Fernandez, Louis Amstoy, Dave Zink, Chris Ercole. Chris Ercole somewhere around here, around the studios. I'm not sure quite where he's at right now.
We had a little issue with the file that could have single-handedly destroyed our entire night of work.
Is Chris Ercole trying to sabotage this fine program we're putting together tonight?
It's entirely possible, Pep. It's the only thing I can think of is that that was his intention all along. That he wanted to call it an early night. He told me something about he wanted to go to Denny's or something.
He wanted pigs in a blanket or moon over Miami. Or
we'll be having our post game discussion later on tonight at Denny's probably.
He was at the Centennial Santiago game. He has the video, so we're just trying to make the video compatible so we could roll it here out on the show. But it was Centennial. I would say Santiago put up a pretty good fight. I haven't seen the video yet, but just judging by the score and some of the text messages I got from Chris Erickley from the game, it sounds like Santiago put up a fight.
Most of those text messages were illegible, I thought. They weren't even about the game. He's like, I had a hot dog or something like that.
Hey, I don't know what the score is, but the chili dogs here at Santiago are fantastic. So
really?
That's what Chris was probably texting and said.
Zink and I had this argument a couple of years ago about the cotton candy at Norco. No, I'm sorry, what was it, the funnel cake? It was a funnel cake, right? And Zink wouldn't try it because he thought it was disgusting. And I think we had some sort of bet about it or something.
You said it was the best funnel cake in the Inland Empire.
Well, it probably is, but you know.
Well, that's the beauty of going to all these different games. You get to sample the cuisine at the high school football game. So
what was the best? You had chili dogs tonight?
No, I did not. I didn't eat at one of the games, but you can't really go wrong because a lot of these football games have the barbecue pits.
Right.
They have pulled pork sandwiches, tri-tip. Can't really go wrong with any of those. But what do you call? I think they're called Frito boats. Maybe they
had those there.
Yeah, they did, but I think.
Wait. They had those at the La Sierra game.
I didn't see them tonight,
okay.
But I've seen them at high school football games.
Oh, those are pretty good.
I'm a huge fan. Yeah, it's like they just cut open the top of a bag of Fritos and they dump chili and cheese in there, and you don't even need a bowl. You just have the bag of Fritos and you cut it open, chili and cheese, and there's dinner, and it's fantastic. So I'm craving a Frito boat. I did have dinner, but I don't think it was quite enough, so I'm still kind of hungry. The coffee, though, earlier that I enjoyed with Lewis is really propelling me through this show, giving me the energy to get through another late night here on HS Game Time.
You could call it.
What's that?
Coffee date.
It was a coffee date. Lewis and I don't do it nearly enough, but it was wonderful. The time we had together. Did a little game planning. Chalk talk for tonight's HS Game Time Live. But look who is here.
I had some carne asada tacos out at Santiago tonight, and I would have to say muy bien would be the way to describe them. They were quite nice.
Es correcto, por supuesto, mi amigo.
Yes, sir.
Cristobal Ericoli. So you were at Centennial Santiago, and we were saying, Santiago scored first, right, in this game?
Yes, sir.
So it looked like it could be close.
Energy was hot. I got to say, you'll see here in the highlight when they're ready to rock and roll that there was some fiery energy and some unpleasantries exchanged on both sides.
Because they were both undefeated in league, right, going into this game?
Yes, sir. It was high stakes, but of course, Santiago did have a disappointing loss, although they weren't fully staffed at the time. They had a disappointing loss to Vista Murrieta earlier, though, but a stacked crowd. And the Sharks, as we said, would smell blood early. It's Michael Dar finding Cole Menarek for the 30-yard TD. But let's not forget the power of the Husky offense. Centennial, a big punch in a small package with Romello Goodman running in 7-7, all tied up. Now it's Hayden Gavitt's turn to get off to the races. I was told tonight he has the fastest 40 time on the team at 4.4, and he shows every bit of this on that 40-yard TD run, 14-7. In the second quarter, though, the Sharks back on the prowl. Dar rolls to the right, connects to Dorian Barnett all the way down to the 2-yard line. From there, it's Roosevelt Monk running in for the touchdown, tying the game up 14-14. But Mr. Goodman turns on the light-speed Millennium Falcon style for the 50-yard TD trot. 21-14, Huskies take back the lead. This game, as I said before, chippy at times. A few unpleasantries exchanged, and a Centennial player would be ejected. But Goodman would go back to business from there. Here he is with his third touchdown of the game. 28-14 would be the halftime score. But this game far from over in the middle of the third as Roosevelt Monk finds the end zone like his distant cousin Art. 28-21 the score. But the Sharks' defense would just not be able to clamp down on the Huskies. Here Gavitt gets off the pass to Chase Kravashi, who dives into the end zone highlight style, 35-21. From there, it's Gavitt putting the game to bed with a few touchdown passes to Isaac Crandall. Here, Crandall does his river dance and jig, shaking the D for the score. And one more time for good measure, Gavitt then tees it high, letting it fly to Crandall for the long touchdown connection. And that would do it. The Huskies win 56-34, a high-scoring affair tonight as Centennial continues to roll. And that would do it. Just Santiago in it for a period of time, but if you're going to hang with Centennial, you got to run and gun, and you got to have that offensive firepower. And Santiago just could not keep up with that machine tonight.
I got to tell you, the one thing that's highly offensive in that whole. I mean, I am amazed at this. I'm going to have to replay this whole footage again. What's with the flash photography in the end zone? You know who that is? That's Max Preps. That's Max Preps being basically unprofessional. Look at, oh my gosh, wait a minute. You got to see this. Watch this. Let's see. Let's count the flashes in this game. Nice pass from Dar. Let's see how many flashes we see. There's the guy right there. Boom, boom. I mean, I'm surprised you can even catch the ball. There's so many flashes in there. I know this is stunning to you guys, but this guy right here should have been ejected. Right there. He should have been ejected.
Can you confirm that is Max Preps?
I don't know who it is, but he should have been ejected. Turn your camera up to the appropriate settings in the ISO and use it. Come on.
It could be a pending lawsuit, though, Lewis, for you making some slander like that against
I don't
Max
care.
Preps.
I mean, I don't care.
Lewis makes a lot of money, so it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it on.
Lewis told us on Wednesday that he's like, I mean, I don't understand. NBA player, don't be an NBA player. Just be Louis Amistoy.
That's right.
You'll make millions.
You'll live comfortably.
See what happens when you graduate from the Banning High School?
I get,
The Banning.
yeah, I Banning High School, 7-Eleven we thought was where you went after that, but apparently
We're trying to get EPJ on the show, but he decided to get into the donuts before Eric Lee got in there. So,
I think it's pizza, actually.
what was it? Pizza? Are you having pizza over there?
it's Louis
Oh.
Bill Gates Amistoy over there enjoying some pizza.
I mean, doesn't it bother you? Am I the only one that's bothered by the fact that there's so much flash photography?
It could be distracting. I understand where you're coming from.
I mean, they even try to put them in the bottom of their monopods, and it's just like, come on, guys, that's ridiculous.
Something that caught my eye a little bit more at the game was, well, not only that, as I mentioned before, Centennial had 5 people up in the press box, pro style. I was expecting them to have Bill Belichick up there or something of that nature.
And T-shirts. Hey, by the way,
hoodies.
fix the microphone so that Eric can sit down with you guys and talk.
Oh,
Eric's mic's right
I'm
here.
going to turn your mic off so that the adults can have a conversation here for a minute.
Very funny.
There's Pep Fernandez. Pep, this has been an incredible week 6, and this is where it gets to be really, really interesting and exciting. And if you turn that camera just a little bit, get them. Nope, that way, other way. Push it back that way. Can you push it at all? There you go.
There we go.
That's perfect. Even better.
Boom.
Yep.
Booyah.
So maybe I could be more in that shot there, but
There you go.
yeah. All right. Let's
There's
see.
Lewis right there. Yeah, it's getting really juicy now, Lewis, because league play's starting to take shape and some separation, I guess you could say, as we're already 6 weeks into the football season, is what I can't believe. And I was excited about this Centennial Santiago. I thought the Sharks might be sniffing around a victory, but Centennial's just loaded. Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise, and they're huge up
Too
front.
Too many weapons for Centennial, and they're an aggressive team. They've been in plenty of big games before. EPJ, they just looked like the team that had been there, done that, and was ready to go. High energy from Santiago to start, but they couldn't keep it up for the full game.
Yeah, I mean, they were into that game well into the third quarter. It seemed like every time Santiago thought they had momentum, there was a big play from Centennial's offense. The biggest play of the game, I thought, Centennial's leading 28-21. Santiago's got him in a 3rd and 25 situation, and it looks like, okay, they're going to force a punt, get that ball, chance to tie. Hayden Gavitt throws up a pass to Chase Crivachet and turns into a 69-yard touchdown pass. So, I mean, it was, Santiago got up to this great start, stopped Centennial's offense on the first drive, forced them, to turn the ball over on downs, and then they score on their first possession. But
Goodman was pretty much running at will tonight, though.
Yeah, and Gavitt kind of, Goodman was the big guy to start off the game, and then Gavitt just, you see his speed out here when he runs that zone read option is just unbelievable. And, Gavitt finished with 3 touchdown passes and a touchdown run, and Goodman had 4 touchdown runs. So, those two really were big, and they needed those because to put it mildly, Centennial's defense
Was not too good.
did not play the smartest game. 6 personal fouls, including 5 late hits, all of them on third down.
Yeah, we showed that ejection that they had.
Here's let's see if we can. This is one that Matt Logan is definitely going to. We may not have the full thing there, but in that little melee we saw there, Leo Lafayette, the right guard from Centennial, was kicked out. And the referee basically said that he had basically stomped on a player while he was down. So that's going to be something that is going to be up for maybe debate on video, because if it's true that then he'll be out for next week's game against Norco. So, and there's the touchdown catch by Crivachet that was the backbreaker for Santiago. That was the one where it looked like they had the momentum going, had a chance late, and here's another one. Isaac Randall just making some great moves, some great blocks, especially from Cameron Hunt there. And you could kind of just see Centennial just taking the momentum, and Santiago was just. They just got out of it. Another great player, Crandall, breaking this tackle.
Yeah,
I mean,
just yanking the jersey, but it wouldn't have it.
Yeah. So
EPJ, offensively, they're rolling, but defensively, they gave up 34 to Santiago. What was it last week against North? Was it 42 that they gave up?
30, I think it was 34 as
34
well.
as well?
A couple of those touchdowns came against second-team defense last week. They will give up yards, and that's going to be okay against certain teams, but I look at
that's
this
an area though. Look as we
right,
push
they
forward.
They need to tighten some things up. They are giving up, a lot of yards over the middle. That's the big point of emphasis now, that they're giving up 340 yards. Now they can outscore almost any team out there, but if they get into one of those tight games, say against an Upland, which I think could be the most dangerous team for Centennial right now. Some of these defensive issues and the fact 188 yards and penalties today, and like I said, 7 personal fouls, that's going to be something that in the wrong game could cost them.
Yep.
Even going up against a defense like Vista Murrieta, I think they would probably run into some of the same problems.
Yeah, well, I mean, I look at, Vista Murrieta and Redlands East Valley are 2 teams out there that play great defense, and while they might be able to slow Centennial's defense down, or offense down, they could probably hold them in the 20s. Can Vista Murrieta and Rev score 20 and 30 against Centennial? Mm-hmm. That's going to be the things. I think to beat Centennial, you pretty much have to outscore them, and that's going to be an issue for a lot of teams. The one team that I have seen this year that I believe in the Inland Division that has that opportunity to both slow down Centennial's offense and also outscore them is Upland.
That has that combination.
Yeah,
of doing a little bit of both.
I think Rev and Vista Murrieta could hold Centennial's offense down, under their average. I just don't know if they can score more than that than they need. You're probably going to need 30 points to beat Centennial. Vista and Rev struggle every week to get to that number.
So they're almost like opposites. I mean, because you can always count on Centennial's offense, and then Vista Murrieta and Rev, you can always count on their defense. It's what they do on the other side of the ball that's going to be the difference in a game. And
the thing with Centennial is while they're giving up yards, they are making some big. But they got an interception today. They recovered a fumble on special teams, and they convert those mistakes when they come up there. They find a way to get 1 or 2 turnovers per game. But you run into that game where you're facing a team that's not making the mistakes and will capitalize on Centennial's penalties. Like I said, Centennial is probably, if I went back through, probably averaging 120 yards in penalties. I mean, that's going to be against the wrong team. Will kill them.
I know we had Vista number 1, Rev number 2, Centennial number 3 in our top 10 after this week's play. Who's your number 1?
I mean, it's, my number 1, I still think Centennial is the best team in our area. And until someone kind of dethrones them, I think consistently, especially the last 5 weeks, they're still playing the best football out there. Rev came off the big win, but understandably, maybe a little bit of a letdown this week. Close game with Miller.
What is that the same maybe for Vista Murrieta? Were you expecting them to maybe have a bigger win against Chaparral?
I mean, they had a big second half, so we'll see. I was surprised they were down at halftime, but the fact that both those are close, maybe like the Rev was more expected. They're coming off just an emotional win. They're probably spent after that win at Mission Viejo. That I could expect that first game after. If this was Vista a week after Crespi, I could see it, but they had the game against Palisades. Maybe just kind of let their guard down a little bit, Now through that league, if they do that to maybe a Murrieta Valley or something, it could be interesting. They got away with it for a half today, and they put it together at the right time. So Vista's one of those teams, as we've seen in the past, won't beat itself, and I think that's their biggest strength is they're very disciplined.
Well,
I just don't know about that offense if it's consistent enough to hang with Centennial, because like I said, you got to outscore Centennial to beat them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they have the offense to do that this year.
When you look at the rankings, is it you put a lot of value in what have you done for me lately? I mean, when you think of Rev and it's like, oh man, well they barely held off Miller. Yeah. Do you think, oh well, you know what? The previous week they beat Mission Viejo, so you still.
I think it's a combination. I think you have to look at the season as a whole. Obviously, we're going in a week by week rankings, so I have this. If I look back, I think over the past 4 weeks, I've had a different number one based on what teams have done. So I've gone from Centennial to Vista Murrieta to Rev this past week. And I'll probably go back to Centennial this week because I think through the season they've put together the best body of work. Now you could say they don't have the signature marquee win, that Vista Murrieta and Rev have, because their chance of that was St. Bonaventure, and they did lose that game. But a 2-point loss to a top 15 team in the state ain't a lot to shake your head about.
No, it's certainly not. And then St. Bonaventure, they lost to, was it
Oaks Christian? No, they lost to Oaks Christian, and then Oaks Christian lost to Westlake. So Westlake is probably one of the top 5 teams in the state right now. So.
And maybe it's worth mentioning, you can comment on this as well, EPJ, that Mater Dei beat Santa Margarita, which puts a lot more value on that Centennial win going on the Mater Dei.
And that was talked about heavily on the Centennial sidelines, that how much that Mater Dei win down the line, if Centennial were to win the division, that it helps their bowl bid chances extremely, because that kind of bulks up their strength of schedule with that win. So, I mean, yeah, definitely big win for Mater Dei, but, the Inland Empire will feel some effects on that. Even if someone beats Centennial, they can look back and say, well, Centennial beat Mater Dei, which beat this team, and you have to almost go through that chain of things on there. So
yeah, you can play that. You can play that game. Who beat who, and so
and a lot of times when you're picking, it's going to come down to 4 or 5 great teams for 2 bowl bids, the Open and the Division I. It's going to be those little things: who beat who, who were common opponents, and kind of that could be what decides everything.
Well, whether it's Centennial or not, the Inland Division champ has a good shot at being one of those games. So Centennial still the top dog in the Big 8. Let's take a look at some of the Big 8 scores from tonight in Week 6 of the high school football season. And we're going to start with Centennial and Santiago. The game you just saw brought to you by Chris Erkley. 56-34. Centennial gets the win. They're 3-0 in the Big 8, 6-1 overall. Number 1 team right now in the Inland Division. Corona holding off Roosevelt. Is that a right score?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yeah, confirmed.
Corona, they beat Roosevelt 24-21. Did Crone play in that game? Do you know if Crone played in that game?
No, I mean, I don't think so. If he comes back, it's going to be near the end of the year.
Okay.
So, but Corona was down 21-3 in that game,
and they battled back. Good win for them.
Norco woke up.
Yeah, Norco against King. King struggling 0-6. Norco the big win, 42-7. Same score. North doing it to Pauley. We have highlights of this game, 42-7. So North is 5-1 overall, 2-1 in the Big 8 league right now.
EPJ, any chance that Norco would have the type of firepower needed to knock out Centennial next week?
That's kind of the big question every week. Which Norco team's going to show up? If the Norco team that played Roosevelt shows up for that game, it could be a fun battle that is lived up to these rivalry games. If the Norco team that showed up against Upland and Santiago show up, it's going to be a rout. So Norco's big problem right now is turnovers. They tend to fumble the ball quite often. They can't do that against Centennial. But, that's one of those ones. Those 2 schools have put on the biggest rivalry. As I've mentioned before, in the last 12 years, Norco's the only team to beat Centennial in league. They probably have the best shot to do it this year.
Yeah, you can't be your own worst enemy when you're playing a big-time opponent like that because, like you said, Norco could have a shot if Centennial makes the mistakes and they can capitalize. Now in the Southwestern League tonight, the scores from there, we start with the Vista Murrieta Chaparral game, and Vista Murrieta wins 27-10. We have highlights of this one. Sua Cravens had a big game for them. Vista Murrieta 6-0 so far on the season overall. And here we go, some of the highlights. Vista Murrieta and Chaparral early in that one. It's Matt Morin racing from 8 yards out. He had 114 yards in the game for Chaparral. Then Vista ties the score. Nicholas Stevens to Aaron Piconis for a 16-yard touchdown there for Vista Murrieta. Then Sua Cravens, who told you had a big night here, hauls in this catch, 16 yards on the TD strike, 14-10 Vista Murrieta on top. Cravens playing some defense too. The interception goes 24 yards for the pick six, and the Broncos take a 21-10 lead late in the fourth quarter. And Vista Murrieta seals the deal as Bryce Smith grabs the pass and takes it 59 yards on the return to put this game away. Vista Murrieta beats Chaparral 27-10, your final score. Cravens had a forced fumble, an interception return, as you saw, for touchdown, 6 catches for 66 yards, a score, and he even ran the ball 3 times for 15 yards. So, EPJ, what does Sua Cravens not do or not mean to this football team?
Yeah, no, I mean, he is, I think Coley Candell realizes what a special player he is and that he can be the playmaker. You know, we expected the great defensive play from him, and then I think he realized he's going to be such a big playmaker. We're going to use him as a running back. We'll use him as a receiver. We can get him the ball on offense as well. So, you know, he's probably the best two-way player that we have in our area, that he is a especially gifted player. He's going to be that safety probably at the next level. But offensively, you know, he could be their X factor if they have any shot at a title right now. I mean, Nicholas Stevens is kind of the leader of that offense. He's that dual threat, but Cravens is a guy that will create some matchup problems for a lot of opponents.
And that's a great problem to have, not knowing where to play him because he's such a special player. Great Oak, Murrieta Mesa, and Great Oak wins 42-30. They're 3-3 overall. Murrieta Mesa 4-2. Murrieta Valley and Temecula Valley. Murrieta Valley improves to 5-1 on the season. They win 27-10. Temecula Valley drops to 4-2 in Southwestern or overall. And all these scores brought to you by Paradise, Chevrolet, Cadillac, and Temecula. To the Citrus Belt League, the scores from tonight. Ukaipa holds off Eisenhower to remain undefeated on the season.
Holy smokes.
The T-Birds, 6-0. They win 24-21.
Go Eisenhower.
So Ukaipa in this Rev game, maybe? I mean, maybe, EPJ?
No.
No?
You know, Ukaipa's off to a great, 6-0 for the first time in a long time, since 97. But, aside from San Gorgonio, the schedule has not been that tough. They might be the 6-0 team that not quite as good as their record. They do have some playmakers, and if they can catch Rev on an off week, maybe there's out there. But, I still think Rev's, they kind of got that game out of their system. And, I think they're going to kind of roll through the league from now on. So I think Ukaipa is a clear number 2 in this league right now, but we'll see.
All right, Redlands, we've been wondering where the Terriers have been all season. They explode tonight against Faux High. They beat Fontana 50-0. And Redlands, East Valley, and Miller, kind of a closer game than what many expected. 21-13, the Wildcats do get the win. They're number 4 right now in the Inland Division rankings. In our HSGT rankings, they're number 2. 21-13, they are a winner. They're 6-0 on the season. Now to the Inland Valley League. And we start with the Rancho Verde playing La Sierra. 49-21 was your final score in this one. It was 42-13 at halftime. So in the second half, the Mustangs called off the dogs, I guess you could say, and but they still rolled to an easy victory. First quarter, the quarterback Carlos Hernandez, Breon Redmond hooks up for the touchdown, 7-zip Mustangs. Later in the first quarter, Hernandez going back to the air. Demoria Stringfellow hauls this in 70 yards on the touchdown connection, and the Mustangs race out to a 14-zip lead on La Sierra, still in the opening frame. The Mustangs back for more. They go to the ground. Devontae Collier slicing through traffic, picks up a big run here to move the chains for Rancho Verde, puts him deep into La Sierra territory, but later on that drive, La Sierra's defense steps up. R.J. Smith, the tip pass, stays with it, the interception, and the long return down the sideline. Now, that was the end of the first quarter. So we pick it up on the ensuing drive. Now in the second quarter, Noel Quinones plows in for the score, and that makes it 14-6. But in the second quarter, later, Rancho Verde still going strong. Hernandez, the Stringfellow, for another score. That makes it 21-6. And still in the second quarter, Johnny Salazar trying to keep his team in it. Hooks up with R.J. Smith here for this touchdown. 21-13, so still kind of a close game. Still in the second quarter, Hernandez to Kenny Torrance. He's going to go 54 yards on this run. That makes it 27-13. The Rancho Verde still in the second quarter. And the Mustangs piling on here. Hernandez to Torrance. in for the touchdown. 34-13, Mustangs on top. And they would get one more before halftime. Hernandez to Dion Becton in the end zone for the score. 42-13 at halftime. But La Sierra, the Eagles, still fighting in this one. Salazar to R.J. Smith again. Quite the duo there, 42-21. La Sierra still trailing by 3 touchdowns. And then in the fourth quarter, Hernandez to Jamie and Lindsay for another touchdown. Final score in this one, the Rancho Verde 49, La Sierra 21. So Rancho Verde putting their stamp as the team to beat in the Inland Valley. Valley View last week, who was 5-0. La Sierra was undefeated coming in this week, and they knocked them off by a big margin. So Rancho Verde still the cream of the crop in the Inland Valley League. Are they just going to run it? Perfect undefeated record?
Yeah, I mean, that's their 24th straight Inland Valley League win. They got 5 more coming. That'll put them at 29. They'll be closing in. Next year have an opportunity. The Inland record for consecutive league victories is 32 by Kaiser, and I think they're going to just kind of roll past that. We'll see next year when we add a few new teams into that Inland Valley League, but you kind of see at that film, La Sierra is probably the second best team in this league, and you just see the size difference. I mean, when you have playmakers like Breon Redmond, you look at DeMaurier Stringfield. I mean, that's a player a couple years, last year as a sophomore when I saw it, it's like that's going to be the next great Rancho Verde player out there at his size as a receiver. But guys like Kenny Torrance, the running backs, Devontae Collier, Rico Green, just so many weapons. I mean, it's they're kind of on the lines of Centennial where they just have so many playmakers to go out there. So.
The way that they look right now would have to be considered a disappointment for them not to go CIF, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of been the story with Rancho Verde. I mean, you talk to a lot of people, and they'll say the biggest surprise is Rancho Verde has never won a CIF title with some of the talent they've had. They made it to the championship, the championship game last year. That was kind of a big step forward for them. They need to win a title because as good as their talent is and what they've been doing, until they win a title, they are not going to have the respect of a lot of people in the Inland Empire because they have too much talent not to have, some championship rings right now.
All right, moving on to the Inland Valley League. A couple more scores brought to you by Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac, Moreno Valley. They tossed a shutout against Canyon Springs, 27-zip. Canyon Springs 0-7. Arlington and Ramona, we've got highlights of this one as well. Arlington, they win a battle with the Rams, 28-24. Arlington gets it done, and here are the highlights early in this one. That's Reuben Kelly, ripping off a 25-yard run. That would set up a Derek Stokes 43-yard sweep. There he is, Stokes. And Dave Zink was at this game. He was really stoked about that.
He forgot to use the Zoom, though.
He was shooting from the space station, I believe, or the surface of the moon, one of them. After holding Ramon on downs, Arlington's Romaine Holston. He's the quarterback. I guess he also returns punts. And he goes 53 yards on this return all the way down to the Ramona 25-yard line. So Holston returns the kick, and then it's Holston back in at quarterback. Calls his own number here on the keeper. Nothing doing, so he tucks the rock, and he goes for it 16 yards down to the 9-yard line. And then he gives the ball to Stokes, who's going to knife up the middle to the doorstep, about the 2-yard line. He would eventually punch it in, and Arlington takes a 14-zip lead. TJ Miller, though, he would respond with his Rams, a 44-yard pass to Ryan Lefevre, and that would set up 1st and goal at the 8-yard line for the Rams. So Miller runs the keeper. He's going to get down to the 1-yard line, nearly gets in. He would punch it in here as Miller would dive in for the score on the next play. That makes it 14-7. Arlington still on top. Ramona, though, they would regain possession, and they would capitalize here. Miller runs again 25 yards down to the Arlington 5-yard line. And after a penalty and 3 failed attempts at the end zone, Robert Corral would kick a 33-yard field goal. That makes it 14-10. Ramona trailing in this one still. And Arlington still going strong with Stokes. He's got another touchdown. Arlington went up 21-10 at halftime, and they would hold off Ramona by a final score of 28-24. So both teams now are 3-3 on the season. Valley View and Vista Del Lago. Vista Del Lago nearly gets their first win of the season. They come up short by a touchdown, 13-6. Valley View 6-1 with the victory. Now we move to the San Andreas League tonight in week number 6. Arroyo Valley, they beat Colton. I believe they should be 1-6. Does that sound right, EPJ, or 1-5?
1-5.
1-5. Arroyo Valley, 28-10 over winless Colton. Cajon Still the class act of the San Andreas League right now, 49-6 all over Pacific. Your final score, so the Cowboys get it done in a big way. And also from the San Andreas League.
That's Colton beat Arroyo Valley 28-10.
Oh, Colton won that game over Arroyo Valley.
I had that pick.
You had Colton? So
Yes,
Colton
sir.
gets it done. The Yellow Jackets, their first win of the season. So congratulations to Colton. Also, Carter
rough
and
year.
San Gorgonio. Carter improves to 6-0. They're undefeated. Kind of flying under the radar. Maybe we don't talk enough about Carter, but they're undefeated 6-0. They beat San G 28-25. Rialto.
San G's pesky, huh?
They are. They battle some of these big name teams like Cajon the previous week. So Rialto and San Bernardino. Rialto all over San Bernardino 45-7. Rialto's 5-1. To the Mountain Pass League holds a special place in Louis Amistoy's heart. Some of these schools out there. Citrus Hill. We have highlights from this one. They beat Beaumont by a final score of 45-7. And here they come running in. There's the Hawk acting all cool. Maybe he had a chili boat or a Frito boat, whatever they call him out there. Davian Payne, the long touchdown run. He was actually a lot faster than that, but we're going to slow it down and show you that he gets
I'm
into
sure
the
the
paint.
Colorado coaching staff hopes he's faster.
Yeah, we got to take that scholarship back. He's not as fast as we thought. No, he was just, we just slowed it down. He's very fast. Josh Martin, the quarterback here for Beaumont, makes a dash for the first down. Nice carry there by Martin. Then a pass intended for Beaumont's Arthur Perez, intercepted by Jason Smith. Runs it back to the Beaumont 25-yard line, but penalty sent it back to the Citrus Hill 32. Wouldn't matter, though. Trevor Hodges completes a pass to K.J. Young, who refuses to go down once again. Hodge completes a touchdown pass to Young, breaks that tackle, shakes off a couple more defenders. They're going to eventually bring him down. Just a little sneak peek because the rest is going to be on the website. So we want to leave you wanting more in that one. So Citrus Hill, they win 45-7, your final score. Tahquitz, San Jacinto, and San Jacinto, after losing to Heritage in their opener, they're 5-1 now with that big win. West Valley, does this win count? I think this win's going to count. 47-19 over Hemet. So that's West Valley's actually their first win of the season.
I'm getting lots of grumbling emails.
Was that an exhibition?
Exhibition, man.
Hey, I'm getting lots of grumbling text messages about that game from the Hemet faithful.
Another side note related to Lewis, I believe him and Dave Zink on that Arlington-Ramona game bet a lunch
We
on
did.
the outcome of that game.
And I owe Zink a lunch now.
Zink wins.
And the winner of it, Dave Zink.
Dave Zink won.
Both, as you can tell, both Lewis and Zink go hungry all the time. So it's good to see that Zink's getting a sandwich out of this whole thing.
Hey, thank you for your kind words. Words with you in the parking lot later.
What were the grumblings
My
out of
pleasure.
Hemet tonight? I'm just curious.
They're just the wondering about the coaching situation and that Hemet now is not improving. Basically, that's what it sounds like. 1-5 on the season with a win against all the positives they had early on when they were reasonably competitive against Temecula Valley and Valley View. And then they beat Indio, have been washed away by the last 2 or 3 games, and I'd say they've really taken a step backward now.
Are they looking at you as coach in 2012?
They will not be looking at me as coach in 2012, but clearly there's some issues out there that's the biggest school I think in the league. It's the biggest school in Hemet, and they're not successful in the football field.
Well, speaking of double trouble, that was Dave Zink in the background as well as Louis Amistoy. All right, I guess we're moving to the Sun Belt League. This was a Thursday night high school football game. Heritage holds off I'm going to classify them as pesky Temescal Canyon team. They just would not go away in this one. 34-30 your final score. We have those highlights on our website if you want to check those out. Elsinore and Lakeside, 45-10 your final. Elsinore 5-1 with that victory. They're number 4 in the Central Division right now in the rankings. Paloma Valley, they blank Paris. Chris Erickley was there.
The score was so low they had 2 zeros.
They had to go double zero on them. 31.
Either that or it's a roulette wheel.
Or a NASCAR number. The Sunkiss League now. The scores from there. Jurupa Valley and Patriots. Jurupa Valley wins a close one, 31-28 your final score. We have highlights from this one. Jurupa Valley still undefeated with that. They had a tie. They're 5-0-1. 31-28 your final score. Jurupa Valley a winner. And here's the highlights. First, Patriot quarterback J.D. Hernandez, wearing number 7 on your screen. First quarter, gets in there for the touchdown here. That would make it 7-zip Patriot on top. But Harupa Valley's Santana Gonzalez, double deuce, wearing 22. Pretty good little running back in the second quarter. Gives Harupa Valley their first lead of the game with that touchdown. That made it 10-7, Harupa Valley on top. Patriot, though, would answer. Jeremy Vincent scores on a 70-yard run. This is now in the fourth quarter. Even with the touchdown, Patriot was trailing Harupa Valley 24-13. And Jeremy Vincent coming up with another great one. 43 yards on this one after hauling in that pass. Shakes off a couple tackles. And they were down only 3 with 5 minutes and 38 seconds left after Vincent goes down the sideline for the end zone. It was 24-21 Harupa Valley. And Harupa Valley finally puts this one away when Gonzalez finds the end zone. Again, get in there. 31-21 at that point. And Harupa Valley holds off Patriot by a final score of 31-28. So Harupa Valley still undefeated. Summit, and they blast Norte Vista 48-12.
I jumped off the Norte Vista bandwagon a few weeks ago. So
you kept picking them. They kept breaking your heart. I mean, you fell in love with them in Pasadena.
Yeah, until you hurt your foot.
Yeah, until I hurt my foot. Then I jumped off their band. You said that's how I hurt my foot? Jumping off their band? Oh, yeah. Good one, did it.
So Lewis will either be
Lewis
a comedian
Amistad will be here all night.
Yeah.
That was an assist from Dave Zink.
Keep your day job.
He'll either be the head coach at Hemet or a comedian. It's one of the two. Kaiser and Bloomington Cats win 28-6. Kaiser's 4-2 on the season. Now we move to the Mountain Valley
Skip through it.
League.
Avoid it.
Ouch.
30-16 Rubidoux.
Hey, at least they scored some points in that game, huh? I mean, come on now.
They
Lewis,
did.
Maybe is Hemet and Banning going to be in a bidding war for you as the coach? Maybe in 2012, could we say
I've
that?
got a lot of offers out there right now, and I think I would take the Broncos at this point.
Just more money or better real estate out there? Better looking women? What's the advantage?
Better athletes, I would say at this point, wouldn't you? Well,
I have
don't
not
know.
had the pleasure of seeing either team
Move on.
this year.
Move along. Back to the next game.
Here we go. Citrus Valley 53-14 against the Fighting Zinks of Notre Dame. Citrus Valley's 5-1. They're pretty good, EPJ, right?
They're very good.
Citrus
I mean,
Valley?
right now, how they're playing, they might be the favorites to win this league. When they face, them versus Rubidoux is going to be a heck of a battle right now.
Rim of the World, they come down the mountain 59-20 against Harupa Hills. Rim of the World's 3-3 in the Mountain Valley League. And that's it.
That'll do it.
Mountain Valley League is over. And it was brought to you by, once again, Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac in Temecula. Thank you so much for joining the HS Game Time Live team. We really appreciate it.
Real quick here, because I'm now the boss. There's the back of Zink's head, by the way, everybody. I'm going to open up all the channels here for everybody, and let me do a roundtable. Is Jeff Prenny still on too, by the way? Are you still busy, Jeff? Are you doing important work over there? Yeah. Okay, you're done. All right, let's go roundtable. Let's start off with Dave Zink, the back of Dave Zink's head. Moment of the night, the one that was the eye-opener of the night.
The fact that I've finally proven to you you know nothing about football, and I can...
That's not proven. That's already known. Say something else.
28-24. I also did it to Pep. Pep was doing the whole Santiago's going to beat Centennial tonight. And you saw how that one went, too.
Do I talk like that? Do I really sound like that?
Well, when you say ridiculous things like you said tonight, something about the Burrows coach is going to beat Centennial.
Man, he was going to dip into his bag of tricks from the Burrows Burrow.
Well, he dipped into it and lost 49-21 or
when
whatever
you're
it
Pep
was.
and you're in last place in the pick'em, you just got to go guns blazing.
You got to really
there's nowhere
reach.
but up. You know what I mean?
You got to reach.
Moment of the night would... Well, he took my mic off.
No, you're on. You're
the
on.
moment of the night for me would probably be the win that down at, what was it, the...
All right, your mic's turned
Great
on
Oak.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
Great Oak.
Yeah, I think that was a good win. I don't know. I'm busy getting scores.
All right, let's go to Chris Erickley and test your moment of the night. One that surprised you, not necessarily from the game you were at, but the game that you thought was a surprise.
Well, I was a little surprised that the Vista score was so close. I mean, they had been looking like a polished machine, and then to have the challenge of, Chaparral, who is a team that does have a lot of talent out there, but has struggled all year. I would have expected a bit more out of Vista, and that could cause them to lose their number one ranking here at HSGT with a kind of so-so performance like that.
Zink's got commentary here.
But that's a rivalry game. That's a league, and that's been a competitive series for, that's a throw out the records kind of game.
Yes, but
Eric, do you agree?
He's not listening on the
EPJ.
headphones.
Oh, he doesn't have headphones on, so he's going Helen Keller over here.
For me, the most surprising score of the night might be Valley View just squeaking by Vista Del Lago. That probably game shouldn't be close. But on another end, a team I think, as Pep said, very underrated in our area, and we're going to get a next couple of weeks to see how good they are, is going to be Carter. I've kind of been on them. I think they're the biggest threat to Cajon in that league, and I think with the combination they have of defense and with Galen Maxey at running back, they have a shot to beat Cajon. So I think they are, right now, maybe the most underappreciated team in the Inland area right now.
That's fair enough. Okay, let's go back to Zink and actually go back to Pep. Pep, what was your game that stood out to you?
Well, this is kind of a roundabout story, but I've been stewing about this since last night. Was the Mater Dei Santa Margarita game? I was all excited about that. I saw the score last night, and in terms of the big picture, is what this meant from Centennial, because Centennial needs Mater Dei to have a good season down there, and they beat Santa Margarita, who's maybe like in the top five, maybe in the state.
I think they were like 4 or 5. Did we hear who won the Servite Orange Lutheran game?
I'm not sure.
I know it was 0-0 really late, but if Servite lost the game, that would be an even bigger win for Centennial, because Servite right now is the team that be one of the bigger threats for. Because they're probably considered the Pac-5 favorites right now, and if Servite could pick up a second loss, that would be huge.
Yeah, I don't see it right here in front of me, but I'm with you. The better, even St. Bonaventure, if they go on and have a really great season, right? It just makes that loss, I guess, look not as bad if that's
it's
possible.
like one of those weird things. Like, Centennial would like St. Bonaventure to get to their championship game, but not win it.
Yeah, but not win it because
then you get the head-to-head, knock them out.
Yeah.
So it's like, get all the way as far as you can, but don't win your section title.
I was told by some unnamed sources in the Centennial crowd tonight that after they beat De La Salle 2 years ago, that Servite is, quote, afraid to play them.
I think there's always been certain teams don't want to play certain teams, and I think one of the reasons that you could maybe say a Servite, Mission Viejo is another team that has not been quick to say let's play Centennial, is a head-to-head loss in a non-league between those schools could be the difference in a bowl bid, because they do play in different divisions, and if it comes down to head-to-head for who goes, I don't think they want that potential game to be the deciding difference. So I think you'll see some of those teams avoiding Centennial right now. So
according to the publication to the south of us, or to the west of us, the Orange County Register, the Servite Friars have defeated Orange Lutheran.
Okay, so
what was the score?
21-8.
Okay, so that's good. That's definitely right now. Servite's the Pac-5 favorites, and it'll be interesting if Centennial and Servite could both win. If they both have one loss on their record, who gets it. I think Servite still has the edge because that one loss is to the top team in Nevada, Bishop Gorman, which is a highly rated national team. So
I think 7th in the nation or something like that.
Right.
What I had read.
So the inland, but I sort of felt like the southern section should be banned from bowl games after last year's performance. But that's probably not. We're probably not going to be.
I think rain should be banned, or either that, or we need more rain. And as we proved, as the southern section in Southern California proved last year, our kids don't play in rain very well.
And up there in the Bay Area, that's all the La Salle, Palo Alto. I mean, up there in the Bay Area,
they're used to it.
Yeah, that's what they get.
All right.
Well, Lewis, no one's asked you what was the big game of the night for you.
Well, I think it's just a tough one. I think Miller hanging with Rev really was an eye opener. The other one I'm kind of curious about, and I haven't looked them up yet, was how the baseline teams did, especially Etowanda playing Upland, which will have tremendous bearing on this league. I think the Inland Division is really fascinating, but like Rev must have just completely been on this high.
Yeah, and I think that's understandable. I think. I mean, that you might have a letdown game heading in.
Could you imagine though? Can you imagine what Kurt Bruick's saying to these guys though? I mean, after that game, saying, look, you just got basically you guys were proven to be, that you can't just take any team for granted, no matter how if they're 5-5 or going into that game. I don't think Miller had the best record in the world. You can't take any team for granted, especially a big school like Miller.
And Miller's played a decent schedule, even though they got blasted by Etowanda. They're still facing some big teams, and like for Rev, it's good it happened this week because they wouldn't want it to happen next week when they face Redlands. You do not want to have a down game in your big rivalry game, because if that happened in the wrong week, like if that happened next week when they had a down game, you could see Redlands maybe pull off an upset. So they got it out of their system. Now they can go into that big, rivalry game next week wanting to, kind of prove a point.
A couple more scores for everybody to kind of mull over. Just real quick, small schools, Ontario Christian, 42-8 over ACA, Arrowhead Christian. Linfield, big win over Calvary Murrieta, 41-18. Sherman Indian losing to California School for the Deaf tonight, 54-8.
That was a game that you and Zink debated quite heavily.
Well, Zink wouldn't make a pick on it. That's what I had an issue with. So I'm just going to look at and Big Bear rallies. Look at this score.
Well, that'll be interesting.
56-50 was the final score there.
Five overtimes, by the way. It was 22-22 at regulation. Wow.
That's a big win for Big, because they were doing pretty big at one point, as I remember.
Now, another score that, kind of won't get mentioned that, kind of was a surprising score to me, Bloomington Christian losing to Desert Christian. Right. Bloomington Christian looked like they were going to roll through their schedule until they got up to Joshua Springs in a couple weeks. And, Desert Christian's a pretty good team, but, that's got to be a disappointing loss for Bloomington Christian.
Anytime you roll into Bermuda Dunes, you got to expect, to be met with a hard shoulder.
Yeah, and anytime you face a team known as the Conquerors, you got to watch out.
They mean business. Yes.
Yeah.
Just for Ercles,
I know the Victory League very well, having played in high school. So,
just for Ercles' sake, Palm Springs beats India 49-0. Palm Desert 54-6 over Coachella Valley. 29 Palms winning 43-0, playing a team their right size after playing Palm Springs previously. La Quinta 56-14 over Cathedral City. Los Osos beat Glendora, but that's the only baseline score we have right now.
If we get that predicted CIF game between Rancho and Palm Springs, we're going to have 5-star studded affair.
We're going to be live from Palm Springs if that comes down there.
That game will get out of hand.
Yeah, we saw in the Desert Valley League today the haves and have-nots there. Palm Springs, Palm Desert, and La Quinta kind of just rolling through.
It is a clear cut.
There's a top tier and a bottom tier.
Well, isn't that just wrong though? I mean, shouldn't they be focused out? That's another conversation. Not entirety. Pep, close us out for the night so we can get these two punks on.
It's been wonderful. I see Will Holden over there getting ready for. He'll join Chris Erkley for HS Game Time Late Night. We'll have some more scores and highlights, and you guys always do some wacky stuff as well. So we'll see what you guys have in store. All the highlights that you just saw and some of the highlights that you did not see will be on our website here at HS Game Time. So be sure to check back later tonight or even tomorrow, all through the weekend, all next week. So if you want to see extended coverage from some of the games. So for Dave Zink, Louis Amistoy, EPJ, Chris Erkley, who will be back. Welcome back in the mix after your little vacation, Chris.
Down on the bayou.
It was wonderful.
It was very enjoyable.
I'll make this quick. I was trying to tell Chris that we had our biggest ratings ever last week with him not here. So I don't know if it was coincidence.
It just means more trips to New Orleans for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll pay for you to leave,
Well,
Chris.
see, what I did was I went down there to promote HSGT down in the southern area
exactly
of the nation.
what you did.
Do we have a big Cajun following?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that. I got them fired up about Inland Valley prep football, and they caught on.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. It's good to have you back.
He's also tried to land at the Banning Airport a couple of times, too.
Yes, but apparently they said no one would want to be there except for Lewis, so they don't fly there.
All right, well, I think that's enough. Our conversation's obviously taking a
We'll see you in a bit.
turn for the worse, a slippery slope. So, yeah, for all your highlights, be sure to check out the website. And then Chris and Wilden will be back in just a couple minutes with HS Game Time Late Night. So I'm Pep Fernandez for HS Game Time Live.
Welcome to Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac, the #1 volume dealership in Riverside and San Diego counties. It's the Chevrolet season of doing. Get behind the wheel of select new 2011 Chevy model and take advantage of 0% APR financing plus $1,000 in bonus cash. Go for the rugged 2011 Avalanche or Colorado, the rough and tumble Silverado, or even a Suburban, Tahoe, or Traverse model. Hurry into Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac today. We're conveniently located at 27360 Inez Road between Winchester and Rancho California Road in Temecula.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to HS Game Time Live Late Night with Chris Erkley and Will C. Holden.
That is the intro of the year right there.
It is.
If
I'm ready to go. I'm pumped up now. It was like better than walkout music.
The Price is Right, or maybe Wheel of Fortune or something, will soon be calling Lewis, I think.
Yeah, he's got a future.
Another team that also has a future is Centennial, and we saw that tonight. They went up against Santiago on the road.
They did.
And
if you can really call it the road, I mean, can you? Can you call that the road?
They went 5 or 10 minutes, didn't they?
It's the road. It's a tough road.
I'm going to go out there and say that there is 4,000 out at that.
4,000?
Well, we had the stands packed on the Santiago side.
Yeah.
And the visitor side is about half the size, but packed as well. I actually got a parking ticket because there was no parking left.
It's not the first one he's gotten here.
No.
Wait a minute. You got a parking ticket?
Yeah, because there was no parking left.
Well, if you would have got there early and on time, you would have been.
I didn't miss a beat, Lewis. I didn't miss a beat of the game. Thank you very much.
Neither did the policemen doing their rounds about
We're
the
gonna have
stadium,
words
apparently.
later.
Yeah.
I didn't miss one moment of the game.
Corona's
Thank you, as you will see in
finest.
my highlights. But yes. So I had to park in the red, and they didn't like it. Hey, here we go. Here's the crowd getting rocking and rolling out there at the Husky Shark match-off.
That's Chris Husky's favorite color.
Michael
during that
Dar
field.
finding Cole Manerick for the 30-yard touchdown. Santiago up 7-0. But let us not forget the Husky offense. For Centennial, it's a big punch in a small package with Romello Goodman running in for the score, 7-7. Now it's Hayden Gavitt's turn to get off to the races. I was told tonight he has the fastest 40 time on the team at 4.4, showing every bit of it on this 40-yard touchdown run, 14-17. In the second quarter, the Sharks back on the prowl. Dar rolls to his right, connects with Darion Barnett all the way down to the 2-yard line. From there, it's Roosevelt Monk running in for the touchdown, tying things up at 14 all.
The previously ineligible Roosevelt Monk.
Mr. Goodman would take it light-speed Millennium Falcon style for a 50-yard touchdown there. 21-14 Huskies with the lead back. This game would be chippy at times. A Centennial player ejected after a few unpleasantries there in the second quarter. But Goodman would take it back to business. Here he is with his third touchdown of the game, 28-14, the halftime score. But this game would be far from over in the middle of the third quarter as Roosevelt Monk finds the end zone like his distant cousin Art. 28-21 the score now. But the Shark defense would not be able to put the clamp down on the Husky offense Friday night. Here Gavitt gets the pass off to Chase Cravache, diving in to the end zone with a highlight reel. 35-21, and now it's Gavitt putting the game to bed with a few touchdown passes to Isaac Crandall. Here, Crandall with his river dancing jig against the defense for the score. Then Gavitt, teeing it high, letting it fly Happy Gilmore style to Crandall one more time for another long touchdown connection.
Oh, how are you not going to
shaking that tackle? Huskies win 56-34 would be the final, and the Husky machine, the offensive machine, that's the Husky machine, continues to roll. Willie, you had to be impressed by them.
I was impressed with the footage, and ended with the flag like that. It was very I was impressed with
Waving
that.
the victory flag.
The victory flag of sorts. I'm very impressed. I continue to be impressed with Hayden Gavin, and as much as I'll give you a hard time about him maybe being the fastest guy on the team, I certainly think he's got the quickest burst on the team. And he's shown that right now. I mean, just his ability to get out and into the open field quickly and just chew up the yards quickly out of that zone read is really serving him well right now. And it's really making people account for him, and that's helping Romello Goodman, and that's helping the passing game. It's all circular, and it's all coming together.
We haven't seen it all, but after we had Vista rated number 1, Rev number 2, and Centennial number 3. After a performance like this, does Centennial and the way Vista struggled against Chaparral, as we will see here a little bit, and Rev kind of struggled, does Centennial bounce up?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I mean, you'll get like the arguments from people like EPJ and Miriam, but in my mind, if you're number 1, I mean, you're gonna have to screw up majorly to drop off, and right now for me, Vista Murrieta, maybe Chaparral plays with them for 3 quarters, but that's just it. I mean, they've played with them for 3 quarters, and then they took care of things with that defense of theirs, and the all everything Sue Cravens, who has now run the scholarship offer total to 17, with the USC offering this week. So no, for me, it's I mean, Centennial's good, but I mean, you got to do something to be unseated, and I don't think Vista's really done that yet. Yes,
Vista is the number 1 team in our rankings, and they did play a bit of a close one with Chaparral tonight. We did have the camera out there. Mr. Nils Jensen, our Temecula correspondent, was out at Chaparral. If we can get those highlights rocking in this Southwestern League matchup. Chaparral did score first. Matt Marin races in from 8 yards out. Then Vista ties the score in the second quarter on the Nick Stevens to Aaron Paconis for 16-yard touchdown. And our old friend Sua Cravens, of course, having a big night for the Broncos. Here he scores on the 16-yard TD catch, 14-10 Vista. Cravens then showing his defensive side, the specialty, a pick for 24 yards for his second TD of the night, 21-10. Then Vista seals the win as Bryce Smith grabs the Marin pass for a pick, takes it 59 yards. He's off to the races. 20, 10, end zone. That puts the game away. Vista beats Chaparral 27-10. Cravens had a forced fumble, an interception for a TD, 6 catches for 66 yards and a score, and 3 rushes for 15 yards. That's a fantasy team dream come true.
As I mentioned in my gamer, he did everything but pass, punt, and kick in that game. He was unbelievable. But I had to laugh. Like Matt Marin kind of got the shaft in that highlight. All you saw of his game worth his 3 interceptions, or 2 of his 3 interceptions. But I mean, for what it's worth, Chaparral really did a nice job of. You see Matt Marin going in there, so maybe he gets the one nice highlight in there. He carried the ball, I think, 23 times on the night for about 120 yards, and their lone touchdown for Chaparral. I mean, Chaparral's sort of strategy has gone back to, I mean, I saw it against Centennial, was just run quarterback sneaks. I don't really know how great a philosophy that's going to be. First of all, it might be the first team to have ever done that with the quarterback.
That is dangerous strategy.
Yeah, and certainly a Division I bound quarterback like Matt Marin. He can make the throws, and when they let him drop back there and pass a little bit, he had some success tonight. Obviously, the 3 picks ended up doing him in, but
we're talking about this one too, that their inability to sort of protect him.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get your. It's an astute observation, Lewis, from left field over there. Yeah, I mean I mean he had his struggles tonight with the protection issues and other issues.
Will, I'm going to ask you to make a bold statement here.
Yeah.
Mr. Sua Cravens, is he the best player in the area?
Best player in the area, like including seniors?
Pound for pound.
Pound for pound. It's a great question. I think you've got some guys, certainly even in that league that are pretty good. That CJ Dozier is a guy that's going to Arizona State, but right now he's not making the plays that a Sua Cravens is, and right now I'm not sure that there's. Just in terms of his overall effect on a team. I mean, because right now, certainly Vista's defense is very good, but outside of that, I mean, their offense struggles. And having a guy like Sue Cravens who can do the things that he can defensively I don't think there's a more valuable player for their team right now than Stuart Cravens is for Vista Murrieta.
If he went down, that would be
they'd be in trouble.
Tragedy. Knock on wood. Is this wood?
He almost did go down tonight too. He banged up the elbow. Called it a stanger.
Stanger.
Ice
that.
It is a stinger.
Gonna ice that baby up.
I would hope so.
And probably be ready to rock. Who do they have next week?
It's a good question. I have not checked this yet. That's
a good one. Did you make your picks this week? Did you get?
I did. We actually have to make the picks on the computer now because the new system doesn't allow us to just go in and fake the newspaper picks without doing the video ones. So, luckily for me,
that's crucial.
Very crucial. Although I once again did myself some injustice. We'll get to that though.
We will. Now, another game that we wanted to look at was what we like to call the Sandwich Bowl or the Lunch Bowl, as we'll explain. A bet between between Zink and Lewis on this Arlington-Ramona game, which we predicted would be a classic, a bit of a coin flip game, and that's exactly what it would turn out to be. Back and forth, Ruben Kelly, Mr. R. Kelly, as Pep likes to call it, gets things going.
Dude, the smallest, most muscle-bound dude that I think I've ever seen.
43-yard sweep. No, we're a little off on these highlights. I'm not quite sure. Said 25-yard run up the middle.
But that's Stokes running for a touchdown.
Oh, Stokes. We apparently are a little bit off on
Chris Wrigley doesn't have the teleprompter exactly right. He is.
Well, I haven't
useless.
seen these highlights, so.
Maybe I should just take over here. Huh?
Put your glasses on.
Yeah,
I can see it just fine if you'd queued up the video, right? But
it's getting.
I'll take it from the top. Here we go.
Yeah.
We'll do it one more time.
All right, Ruben Kelly. It says Ruben Kelly 25-yard run up the middle, which is
he's wearing the
not
wrong jersey.
the case. Oh, no. All right, there you go. 25-yard gain. Then Derek Stokes, 43-yard. They said sweeping to the right for a touchdown.
Clearly the left.
Yes, clearly to the left. Confusing on the highlights here, Dave Zink, 7-0. Then after holding Ramona on downs, Arlington's Roman Holston returning a punt, doing a little tiptoe dance.
Speaking of coming out of left field, where did that guy come from?
Look at this guy, off to the races. Running it down to the 25-yard line.
That's a punter tackle.
Then Holston gains 16 yards, taking it himself on the QB keeper down to the 9-yard line. And from there, Stokes, not related to JJ though, of 49er fame, knifes the ball up the middle, all the way down to the 2-yard line. Then he would finish the job, punching it into the end zone. 14-0 would be the Arlington lead. Then Miller responds with a 44-yard pass to Lefevre for a 1st and goal, all the way down to the 8-yard line. Miller would run the keeper in from there down to the 1-yard line. Then it's Miller diving in to get the score, cutting the lead to 14-7. We have a ball game on our hands.
It's a good old play action fake to no one on that particular play.
Ramona regains possession, though, and Miller, Mr. TJ Miller, favorite of Will Holden, runs for 25 yards all the way down to the 5-yard line. He's a machine. After the penalty and 3 failed attempts at the end zone, Robert Corral kicks a 33-yard field goal. 14-10 the score in the second quarter, but Arlington answers and drives to the Ramona 9-yard line where Stokes runs all the way into the end zone. Arlington up 21-10 at the half, and they would maintain that lead, winning 28-14. We apologize for that previous confusion on the video, but we got it straight there. And
by the way, in the chat room, they're furious about this issue on the R. Kelly thing. The one guy said that he was going to throw his desktop out the window if he heard it one more time.
Well, if you heard someone call him R. Kelly.
All right. Hey, and to answer your question earlier, Vista Murrieta plays Temecula Valley next week.
I think they got that one. Temecula Valley.
Why do you have to insult the Golden Bears like that?
Not insult the Golden Bears. I'm making an opinianated statement.
If they do anything,
it's at home.
Maybe if they throw some of their wrestlers out there.
Yeah. Maybe if it just becomes a wrestling match at midfield on Vista Murrieta's logo.
I would throw
where
the
they've had
advantage to
some problems in the past. I understand.
Yes,
the Vista Murrieta logo.
Controversial maneuver.
Why do you have to bring that up?
I tell you, man, it's late.
It's our all-time video. We should get that. I got to get that into this thing.
How many views did that get?
5,000.
5,000. Our number one all-time video.
I believe so
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah. Well, actually, the Centennial Vista Murrieta game last year, altogether got like 10,000.
You'd hope that the actual game might get more than a little dance on one particular Bronco, but apparently not.
That was still pretty good though.
Do we have some scores for the people, Lewis?
What happened to Zinc? Hold on one second. Let me go cue him up. I'll be right back with you guys.
Well, anyways, while we're waiting for those,
Right.
Will, your most impressive game of the night.
It sounds like and I haven't gotten a chance to really analyze it, but it sounds like Great Oak really went blow for blow with Murrieta Mesa, and maybe I should switch that around.
Murrieta Mesa had him down for most of the game.
Yeah, Murrieta Mesa really was the one that took it to Great Oak, which surprises me because Murrieta Mesa coming off getting their heinies handed to them by Summit. I believe it was 49-0 blowout the last week that I went to. I was kind of wondering why we were even at that game, considering the way Summit just dismantled them. But coming back off an effort like that, especially for a young school, able to chase Chambers, I think threw the ball 57 times tonight. That he didn't die necessarily.
That's a rarity to see that in a high school game.
An offensive line isn't exactly completely non-porous, and so it was a nice effort from them to hang in there. Nice effort from Great Oak to come out with the win.
Nice effort out of the Big 8 League for Centennial, 56-34. Their win, as Will calls it, on the road against Santiago.
It's a tough road.
Nice win for the Huskies. Then Roosevelt losing to Mr. Truelove, another favorite of Will's, 24-21. Mr. Truelove, we got to get him on the show soon.
Speaking of videos,
Norco.
Yeah.
How about Mr. Gearhart and company? It seems either gold or coal for them, and this week it was gold, 42-7 over King. We'll see what they do. They play Centennial next week. Ayo, that'll be a battle royale. North rebounding from that loss to Centennial, 48-7 over Poly.
Some dichotomy in that Big 8 right now. So some tough sides on the bottom.
Centennial, though, clearly the top dog, 3-0.
Yeah, Riverside, Poly, and Kings. I'm surprised Corona doing a nice rebound effort. Their non-conference schedule, they had some difficulty.
EPJ thought that Norco might be able to give Centennial a run for their money next week. We'll have to see how that plays out. Southwestern League play.
EPJ's drinking the Norco Kool-Aid a little bit.
A game we talked about, Vista Murrieta, 27-10 over Chaparral. Was close for a while, though, but Vista, remaining undefeated, should hold down the number 1 spot here on the HSGT ranking.
They should. They better. That's garbage.
Great Oak. I don't believe I picked Great Oak in this game. 42-30.
You didn't ask me.
Winning that game.
Chambers,
I would have to check.
33 of 57 for 353 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's impressive. For
Murrieta Valley and Temecula Valley, 27-10. That is a game that I did have the correct score on.
We will have Andrew Blake on, so we'll chat a little bit more about that, the Murrieta Valley quarterback, next segment.
Murrieta Valley 5-1, hot to start the season. Now we're looking at the Mountain Pass. Yes, anyway, Citrus Belt League rolling on here. And Ukaipa, another undefeated team, a team that we should probably chatter a little bit more about, more than we do here on HS
Ukaipa,
Game Time.
Maybe get a little bit disrespected, but yeah, they're hanging in there still,
And Redlands getting a much-needed win, 52-0, maybe a wake-up call for them next week.
I believe that's the last running of that rivalry game, too.
Next week they have Rev and Redlands, a game that is very close to Pep's heart. Pep told me earlier today that he hopes that Lewis allows him to go out to that game.
Yeah.
Hopefully the dream come true. And Rev 21-13 over AB Miller.
A little bit of a wake-up call there. A team that had just been rolling. I mean, maybe that's what Rev needed. I mean, a game against a team like Miller that has the talent, has the size, to compete with the Rev team. So that's an interesting one. See if Rev's got the offense to continue.
Rev a little soft after the big win against Mission Viejo, but they'll come back strong, no doubt. Inland Valley League, let's check out the action over there. Rancho Verde, a game that we thought would be about the score that it turned out to be, 49-21. Rancho Verde are the kings out there in the Inland Valley League. La Sierra was trying to put up a fight. They have been impressive to start the year, but couldn't handle it.
My boy had 295 yards passing and 5 touchdowns.
Can't shake a stick at that. No. Moreno Valley, nice win for them against the struggling Canyon Springs, 27-0. 0 the score. Then Ramona and Arlington.
Cracking himself up over here.
Yes. Arlington, another game that we thought would be a battle royale, 28-14 would be the score.
Lived
Ramona.
Up to the hype there.
2 500 teams just battling for a playoff berth, and we'll see who finishes out with the better record.
Man, it's gonna have some intrigue coming down the stretch, I think.
And then Valley View, after getting dismantled by Rancho Verde last week, had to pull out the dub against Vista Del Lago. You'd think they'd win by a little bit more than that. Maybe the mental fatigue against Rancho Verde was still.
Valley View said they had quite a few turnovers in that one, and it was just kind of a defensive struggle. So you get one of those every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Rolling on from there, the San Andreas League.
That one actually fits on the screen.
A favorite of Lewis's. Colton, Arroyo Valley. Colton getting their first and
Yeah, I picked
very
that one,
much.
baby.
I did as well.
Hey, we're not giving them any
A
love.
much
Change that
needed
record at the
win.
bottom
Yeah,
of the
we need to
screen.
get
Come
them
on
1
now.
and 5.
Let's
Come
go,
on,
Colton.
hey. After then Cajon,
They've waited long enough.
Cajon the machine.
I think Casey had something like 4 touchdowns on that one, including a kickoff return. Man, they're nuts.
Or this guy over here might call it Cajon.
John. It's true. It looks like
Yeah.
that.
And Carter.
Call him like I see him.
Another team that as Pep said earlier,
Man, I
we
needed
maybe
that
need to talk more about Carter. Now, still undefeated, 28-25 over Sanji, who scraps, but usually ends up on the
Sanji gave
losing
someone a
end.
run for their money last week. They
Yeah.
can play a little bit.
They can.
You know, I mean, don't take.
They
it
haven't
for
been
granted.
rewarded in the win category, though, for it. Rialto continues to roll. 5-1 for them. San Bernardino continues to struggle. 45-7 was the score.
Yeah.
And the Mountain Pass League. Let us not forget Citrus Hill, the offensive machine out there, led by Mr. Payne. 45-7. Payne, another highlight reel worth of touchdown runs tonight against Beaumont.
Trying to see. I don't.
Then San Jacinto, another team
Nuts.
close to Lewis's heart. 42-14 over Tockwitz.
I believe Casey Clark had a big one in that one. Check that one out. Tomorrow's Press Enterprise.
Hemet struggling tonight against West Valley.
I got that one, baby.
Yeah, Lewis convinced me to pick Hemet. Why did I listen to him?
West Valley, man, they got some offense over there, man.
Shouldn't have listened. Number one pick is never listen to Lewis.
I think West Valley is the highest gaining offense in the area outside of Centennial, man. How are you going to pick against them?
Fortunately, their wins have not added up to a larger number. Sunbelt League action. Heritage just
was at that
squeaking
one
out
last
that
night.
win. Last night, yes, against Temescal.
My favorite one was Jamal Super Bad Morrow. They played James Brown every time he scores a touchdown. It's big time.
Elsinore, the team, they were out there scouting Paris and Paloma Valley last night. 45
Paris again.
to
Gotta be
10.
ready for him.
Yeah, gotta be ready for Paris. They have a
Sleep on
high-powered
that.
offense. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Paloma Valley, yes, this game we were just talking about, 31 to double, not zero, but double zero.
That's-
3 straight losses for Paris. They start
Come
out
on.
3-0, but it's been rough in the last.
They were
3
going to be
games.
the story, but that apparently Harupa Valley overtook the story of the year moniker from Paris, I believe.
Sunkissed, Harupa
Speak of the devil.
over Patriot.
Still the
yes.
story of the year, Lewis. I don't know if his ears are burning over there, but I believe they're still considered his story of the year.
Yes, that.
Yes, you would be correct. And
Okay.
I think that I have to look it up, but I think that's the most points West Valley's ever scored against Hemet.
Against Hemet.
Yeah, going back to that one.
Telling you, man, that offense.
A Hemet historian.
Well, the
is
Hemet,
Liz.
West Valley didn't have a coach tonight. either.
Really?
Yeah, I think he had to sit out the game for the ineligibility issues. But
Really?
Yeah, I think that was what ended up happening there.
Well,
rolling on from there.
Yeah.
Norte Vista,
struggles that you
the
might have
Braves.
Berkeley is.
I did
Berkeley's
not pick
chosen
them.
sons.
I did not pick them because I said, "Hey guys, you've let me down a few too many times," and they lost tonight to Summit, 48-12.
Dante Dion got another pick in that one. It's his second of the year, 21st of his high school career.
Very impressive by him. Kaiser, 28-6 over Bloomington.
Bloomington lost their quarterback in that one. It's kind of a tough one there.
Tough one to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain Valley League. Banning. Ouch. Rubidoux, 30-16.
I believe Banning, before we ouch them, I think they only have 17 players on their entire team.
So a lot of people playing both sides.
I got to tell you, a guy that I know who's an educator and who graduated from Banning, he wrote a pretty thing on a big thing on Facebook, basically complaining about how few kids they had out and how embarrassed he was that they spent all this money on these facilities. And it didn't seem to translate in kids coming out for the program.
$18 million on the facility. You'd think that would get people excited. They have quality facility out there. They just need to get the right players.
Yeah, couldn't score more points than they had players tonight.
Notre Dame. Dave Zink. No wonder that's where Dave Zink, when he went to go drown his sorrows from the Notre Dame.
I think this game is interesting from the standpoint of maturation of Citrus Valley.
Yeah, they're I've talked to a few schools. Arrowhead Christian is one that Citrus Valley's starting to steal some players from those Ambassador League schools, and they're starting to leak up there because they got a great facility, great coaches, and I think that is a developing story, Lewis.
Because they've had some good wins this season, but that's a very good quality win against a pretty good program that's well coached and has a good tradition.
Citrus Valley did get punched in the mouth pretty hard by Murrieta Mesa, though, but we won't hold that against them.
Rim of the World against Harupa Hills. Rim of the World comes down to sea level, and they still run up the score 59-20.
We're sucking for oxygen, apparently.
Yes. No, it's hemoglobin is pumped up because of the lower saturation rate up at the higher elevations, the O2 sats. Anywho, Ontario Christian 42-8 over Arrowhead Christian. A game that is close to Will's heart. He loves the Ambassador League.
Yeah, it's speaking of that.
Linfield,
Ambassador League,
41-18. A lot of high-powered offensive type scenarios going on tonight.
Linfield Christian got Steve Silverman, former RCC coach, got some things moving in the right direction. I think for Linfield.
Former Tahquitz coach,
right?
I think he might have coached a Centennial too at one point.
I think he did. Yeah, I think he got them their original CIF title.
Very nice man, by the way.
The California Military Institution, a team that we have covered very closely.
Yeah, they get back
throughout
on
the year. CMI. What's the name of that offensive machine that they have over there?
Oh, I think it's not Blackman. They had the guy that had 2 fumbles, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, 2 picks or something like that. Yeah.
Well, it looks like he was doing it again tonight, 60-6.
It's after being held to 10 points by Linfield Christian last week. That's a nice rebound for CMI.
I think actually Hamilton. I don't know that 4-3 record's correct. I'll have to look that up because I think Hamilton Unified has only got like 2 or 3 wins between the two schools.
I think Hamilton lost a game to Rancho Christian before all those.
Yes, I think they're actually one. I don't know why we say 4-3. I think they're actually 1 or 2 and 4 or 2 and 5, because all of the Hamilton Unified schools, West Valley is now the winningest of them. So,
is there anything Lewis doesn't know about the Hemet area?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, when you live there as long as I have, you pay attention to these
things.
He's an
encyclopedia.
I think he was born. I think he just emerged out of
the soil.
They might be the worst performing school district in the area, as far as
possible.
As far as the win losses go.
Boy, it's CSDR. Didn't like the fact that I picked against them this week.
So did Zink.
Ouch.
It made me look pretty foolish.
54-8 over Sherman Indian, putting the beat down. Then Riverside Christian in a bit of a thriller here against Rebet Academy, a team that Will follows very closely, and he'd love to tell us more about them, but you can't.
Sadly, we don't have time.
Yeah. Well, we've gotten to black here from the.
We faded to black.
Yeah. Here we go. Now we're back. Anyways,
I have to kind of manage everything from one computer to the next, so because somebody over there is not doing his job. So.
Yeah. What is Dave Zink doing?
I don't know what he's doing. I think he's updating the contest.
I see.
It's an important job.
Well, when we come back, we're going to come back get a special caller on the line.
Yeah, Andrew Blake from Murrieta Valley will be joining us.
They had a nice thriller of a game out there.
They're all thrillers in Chris Strickley's mind.
Every time they line up on Friday nights, it's a thriller to me. Anyways, we're going to have him on the horn when we come back, so do not go anywhere. You are watching HS Game Time Late Night.
Hi, it's me, Alicia Renna from Bar's Furniture. You've got to come down and see what's new. We're now carrying Simply Amish, all solid wood and American made, handcrafted and signed by each artist that builds your
you have
furniture.
to use your
Simply
phone
Amish
again,
makes every type of furniture for your home. They
phone
use
call
5
thing
different
is making me
species of
crazy.
wood and have over 50 different colors to choose from. So come in and come home to Bar's Furniture. Voted #1 in 2010 by the Press Enterprises Reader's Choice Awards. We're located at 5664 Mission Boulevard in Riverside.
30 out of 34. I got 32 out of 34.
Whoa, you were 32 and 2?
Hi, it's me, Alicia Renna from Bar's Furniture. You've got to come down and see what's new. We're now carrying Simply Amish, all solid wood and American made, handcrafted and signed by each artist that builds your furniture. Simply Amish makes every type of furniture for your home. They use 5 different species of wood and have over 50 different colors to choose from. So come in and come home to Bar's Furniture. Voted #1 in 2010 by the Press Enterprises Reader's Choice Awards.
2 games back.
We're located at 5664 Mission Boulevard in Riverside. Hi, it's me, Alicia Renna from Bar's Furniture. You've got to come down and see what's new.
Welcome to Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac, the #1 volume dealership in Riverside and San Diego counties. It's the Chevrolet season of doing. Get behind the wheel of a select new 2011 Chevy model and take advantage of 0% APR financing plus $1,000 in bonus cash. Go for the rugged 2011 Avalanche or Colorado, the rough and tumble Silverado, or even a Suburban, Tahoe, or Traverse model. Hurry into Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac today. We're conveniently located at 27360 Inez Road between Winchester and Rancho California Road in Temecula.
Boy, I had my worst nights ever.
Oh, so what's all this jibber jabber?
Let's go.
Then?
Let's go back to the show. Let's wrap this thing up. Come on.
If you do, then you'll love HSGT's Roundup every Tuesday.
Oh, you know what? Someone stole the.
All the high school sports action, from volleyball to boys water polo, even girls tennis. You name it, we'll have it every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at hsgametime.pe.com.
We're Mr. Murrieta Cheer, and you're watching HSGT Live.
Oh, hey, we're back on the line.
Oh, someone at the wheel.
We were never actually off. I don't think I ever turned the mute off.
Oh, well, thank you for that.
We kept it clean.
Thank you for that. Yeah, good thing we kept it clean. No one will.
We were just looking at we were looking at the contest and how bad I did.
One thing that yeah. Well, anyway, shifting gears, time to take our phone call of the night, and one of the big quarterbacks, Mr. Andrew Blake. Andrew, you there? A big win for you guys tonight. You got to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, we won 5 games in a row now, something like that. So, it started off a little sketchy, not as we planned, but we bounced back and it was a good game.
Boy, I'm speaking of bouncing back, Andrew. I mean, you had some early interceptions. You had one thrown in your opponent's end zone. Talk about yourself bouncing back tonight. How were you able to do it?
Yeah, that first pick, it was a little screen pass, kind of got tipped in the air, whatever. That second one was it was kind of in the red zone. A lot of them got to score. I was made a wrong read, made a mistake, had to fit it in there when I probably shouldn't have. The D played great all night and got us the ball back often. So I just try to get keep the plays behind me and just look forward to it.
Aside from the 2 interceptions, I mean, you only threw 4 incomplete passes on the night. 2 of them were the picks, but you're 12 of 16 for 205 yards. It's the second really efficient week for you. I think last week you only had something like 3 or 4 complete passes, nearly 300 yards. And yet, man, I get the feeling that Greg Ireland, your head coach, is kind of tough on you, man. I mean, he was telling me that the only thing he was focusing on in that win last week over Elsinore, or a couple weeks ago now, but the only thing he was focusing on was the fact that you threw an interception in the end zone, and then you threw another one in the end zone this week. I imagine he's still harping on you, huh?
Yeah, he's a good coach. I love Ireland. He's always a little hard on everyone. He's hard on me too, but you got to take the adversity that he gives you, because he knows that I'll handle the adversity well, and I just got to thank him for that. And he's a good coach, so he was a little hard on me more than he might be the other players, but in the end, it's all going to work out. So.
Has there been a point in time where he's been a little bit unreasonable that you can recall?
What was that?
Has there been a point in time where he's been a little bit unreasonable? Maybe you're like, okay, ease up a little bit, coach.
I can't hear you.
Sorry, man. Has there been a point in time where he's been a little bit unreasonable, where you kind of said, "Oh, ease up a little bit, coach"?
No, he's fair. He knows how much to give, how much what to tell me, what not to tell me. He's a great coach. He knows what he's doing. He's been there for plenty of years. He knows what he's doing. So I never question him. I always try to do what he does. Him and Coach Pardon, the offensive coordinator. So I just do what they say and just coach.
And just chatting a little bit about the consecutive win streak now. I mean, obviously the big win is this one in the Southwestern League. To talk about how much confidence the team has right now with some of the non-conference wins. I mean, you guys were able to beat Roosevelt, Elsinore, defending CIF champion, and do it fairly efficiently. How high is the confidence running on this team right now?
Well, the confidence it's going to be there. With wins, confidence always comes with wins. But we just got to take every game just 1 week at a time, get better each and every practice, because we know we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. Mm-hmm. So we just got to keep working one at a time, keep doing what we're doing, and hope everything will go well.
When does Vista Murrieta come up on the calendar for you guys?
Oh, let's see. We got Great Oak, then we're at 3 more weeks.
And, I mean, you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but that's got to be a game that you're starting to think about a little bit.
Oh, yeah. The crosstown rival, there's always been a rivalry there. Still is, it's always kids talking or whatever, so it'll be a good game, right now we need to focus on, Great Oak, get better each week, but yeah, it's going to be a game. So.
Yeah, Great Oak had a big win tonight, so definitely not a team that you can sleep on, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely not. No. That quarterback and running backs, Murrieta and Luna, they're definitely athletes. Our defense is pretty solid. So we got to come out, watch some film on them, and practice hard.
And speaking of rivalries, I mean, you guys have one of the original, Southwest rivalries, tonight in Temecula Valley, Murrieta Valley. Does it still feel like a big, old historic rival?
Yeah, that's exactly. Our head coach Ivan, right before the game, was telling us about this trophy that Murrieta Valley and Temecula Valley share, and he says, "We've had it." He says like this. He goes, "Guys, we've had this trophy for 5 weeks, for 5 years in a row now. We better keep it." And then walk off. And you're like, "All right, coach, we got you."
And we've gotten a chance to get to know Murrieta Valley, or I have, because I've been down there covering you guys a little bit, and got a chance to talk to your two new running backs, kind of some goofy kids, man. I mean, talk about those two.
Yeah, they complement each other so well. Like one's a little quick and elusive, while the other one's gonna power and hit you in the mouth. So you just gotta love how they complement each other and how they go well together. The team kind of has a little joke going on. They call them Light Thunder and Lightning, with Jacob Augustine being the Thunder and Jack being the Lightning. So
Right.
It just helps me. It really relieves the pressure off the offense and off my shoulders as the quarterback. Just that know that the running game will always be there.
Does Jacob Augustine ever wipe that goofy smile off his face?
He's a little goofball. Everyone loves him. Everyone at school loves him. He's just one of those super nice guys, always smiling, very nice. He's a great kid, and I love him. And especially Jack, he's one of those silent assassins,
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those kids that kind of he's a great leader, but he leads by example. So those two just completely combined, you know what I'm saying? So they just complement each other so well.
Right. And it kind of seems like Jacob might be kind of the nerdy type. Do you give him some advice when it comes to maybe the lady category?
He's smart. He's a little smart kid. He's not too much of a nerdy type. He's really funny actually, but he's in those advanced classes and whatnot. So yeah, he's a good kid. I like him.
Does that impress the ladies?
What?
I said, does that impress the ladies?
Probably all. Everyone, he has this little saying. Everybody goes around school and goes, "Hey guys, am I looking swole?" And everyone just starts laughing. So he impresses the ladies with his swollenness.
His swollenness.
Is he juicing or is he clean?
What's up?
I said, is he juicing or is he clean?
Oh no, he's clean. He worked his butt off over the offseason. He weighed about, I think it was about 160 his sophomore year, and going every week I see that kid at weightlifting. I'm like, holy crap, he's getting cute. Like every day I see him. And I'm like, you have to work out outside of school, right? He's like, oh yeah, I go to fitness routine every night. I'm like, that makes sense.
He's getting swole, man. That's all he was concerned with. And we got to ask you real quick. Too, we heard the ringtone that was bumping as we were calling you. What is that you got in here? Yeah.
Just listening to music.
What jam are you listening to there?
I think that was Donald Trump by Mac Miller.
There you go. And so it's so some of the schools, I was at a Heritage game, and they've got kind of that big Samoan population, and they kind of like those laid-back songs. Can you really play football after you hear that laid-back stuff, or do you need some of that Mac Miller stuff?
Yeah, I need some of that, that pump-up, rock and rap music, I listen to that on the way to the game and stuff, but, once I get to the game, I'm not a big music guy. I don't really need music to pull me up. I just want to stay focused, especially when you're a quarterback, you don't need to be all hoorah, hoorah. You just, be smart, calm, and just go through your reads,
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're a linebacker, or running back, or a lineman, I understand. But with a quarterback, you don't have to be too much hyped during the games.
And then lastly, here before we let you go, Andrew, just talk about going into the season. You guys you had a younger team. I mean, you were one of the guys that was still one of the veteran guys. But Southwestern League play now, getting into full tilt. It looks like Vista's the team to beat. But can you guys be a surprising team in that league that's always been so strong?
I can't really predict the future, but I wanna get all tell them, lead this team, get better each and every week, practice hard, just focus as much as you can, and hopefully we'll be there one day we can, go out there and beat Vista. But, it needs to happen. We need to be every single day. We need to give it our all. It can't just happen. We need to, we need to work our way there.
Sounds good to me.
Well said. Well, thanks, Andrew, for being on the show tonight. Well done, and best of luck to you the rest of the season.
All right, thank you very much, man.
Yep.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to my dad real quick up in Minnesota. He's not here. I just want to say I love him and I miss him.
Well
Heck yeah,
said.
man.
Well said.
All right, man.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, Andrew Blake from Murrieta Valley, a team that is looking to shake things up in the Southwestern League.
As Lewis gets a spot shot of himself here.
Yeah.
Well-placed shot.
The head of Lewis there just.
Well, you remember I had to. This
yeah, it
is
was on zinc. It was on.
Normally it was on zinc.
It was on Wilt Chamberlain's setting there.
The Shrek
Actually,
head.
I was gonna say zinc. Andre the Giant, maybe.
Breaking news, by the way, everybody.
What's that?
Breaking news: the contests.
Ooh.
What we've all looking forward to an unbelievable night by Peter Chichonsky, the
Another
2010
Chichonsonator.
champion.
He was on top before and still on top. What did he do tonight?
Unbelievable.
What was his number?
33 of 34.
What does he know that we don't know?
I don't know. And you know what?
He knows how to crack
I
backs.
think you sabotaged my picks, Eric Lee.
No, you sabotaged mine because
I
you
did not.
convinced me to take Hemet.
I should have been 32-2. Hey, it's him. It's him, Zink. It's Eric
What
Lee.
was it? What was it?
I missed 10 games, apparently. You came
Yeah,
over
you
here and
just
changed
don't
my
know
picks.
what you're talking about. That's
10
all.
games. That's
Dr. Pete is now has 141 points after a 33-4 or 33-1 performance.
That is mind-boggling.
Yeah, it really is. I bet you the only game he missed was probably Corona at Roosevelt.
in the prep dog up there pretty high still.
No, because actually EPJ, Miriam,
That's right. Miriam was
John
killing it.
Murphy, Erica Lee, Parenti are all tied at 135. They are 6 games behind Dr. Pete.
Jeepers.
Dr. Pete was easily the winner, but he also called Harupa Valley 28-14.
He's a chiropractor, right?
Right.
And
We've
he's
been
just
trying to get him
putting
on, but he's so busy.
He's putting the he's
I
cracking.
met him. I've met the guy. Yeah.
You
He's
met him,
cracking
right?
backs
Yeah.
tonight. I'm sure.
He
Right
is.
Well,
now.
we've
He's
tried to get him on
cracking
the
backs and taking names.
which we tried to get him on the show a couple times, but he's always so busy that it was difficult to get him on there.
Maybe
He's
on
2
the late
games.
night hour.
He's 2 games ahead of.
Yeah, he's totally a late night contestant.
There's 3 guys now who are tied for second at 139 each. And then Bob Norbeck is tied for. He's
Norbs.
sitting
Zink
fifth
was
right
trying
now.
to puff his chest a little bit on his 31.
Yeah, he's ahead of me now by 2 games. I was like 3 games up on him. He had a 5-game swing.
Are you and Pep in last?
Pep?
in
I'm
second
still
to
2
last?
games ahead of Pep. Thank goodness.
Boy, Pep is
wait,
Pep is
but
having an
Pep didn't-
awful year.
Pep had
It's
himself
not
Pep was 30-4 this week.
fun to watch Pep anymore. It's because he was like 40 games behind somebody. I think.
I think 34 games is too many. But
Yeah. It's a lot to over.
How
Lot
many
to
will
call.
we have next week, Lewis?
I don't know, maybe 30.
Are you the executive of the picking committee?
I am. Do you have a request?
He is the straight up executive. He is the executive branch.
I want Palm Springs in there next week.
That's not going to happen.
It's not in the coverage area there, Chief.
Should be.
That's the print coverage area. So we
Right, we
can
stick
make,
to that.
I've stuck it in there before. Put Palm Springs 29 Palms in there before.
Yes, and that would seem even farther out of the coverage area. But anywho.
All right. Anything else you guys gotta get to? By the way, your little thumb drive on Andrew Blake's photos disappeared because apparently the Ozzy video was on it.
Oh. It's all about Ozzy.
Yeah, Ozzy
Yeah, so, I
Osbourne
mean,
out at Barnes & Noble it was tonight out on Tyler over by Billy the Kid's house there.
should have just played some Ozzy over that. I mean, it sounds like Andrew Blake's into the pump up music. Maybe that would have been well indicative.
Performance of the night offensively. What do you guys think, Blake?
Blake was good.
You know, actually, I was going to tell you that the Santa Sana was Noah Wiggins.
Widgets was the one.
Yeah, had 285 yards rushing.
Right.
Hey, Romello Goodman had 4 touchdowns tonight.
Is it just me, or does Centennial just look ridiculously fast?
I don't know about that.
Gavitt and Goodman do.
I mean, yeah.
I thought they were fast. I thought they were ridiculously fast last year, but Eubank I thought was really fast, but Hayden Gavitt looks really good.
Eubank doesn't look as fast just because he just like chews up the yardage, I think.
Yeah.
Gavitt looks so quick because he makes those quick cuts and he's more of a jitterbug sort of a runner. He's more impressive to watch.
What do you think about that 4.440 that I was told?
I don't know.
I was told
I
that
think
was a laser.
I think that's legit.
That was a laser.
I think that's legit. I think it's
combine laser.
Look, I think it's a high 4.4.
I always get so weirded out with 40s because people just they don't understand what's a fast 40.
Right.
Like 4.5 is a very fast 40-yard dash.
I could see him running like a 4.49 in that general range. I think he looks very quick to me.
Like when I hear people saying that they run a 4.3, that's when it's just like it's like
I think it's been proven in most cases to be almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, what's his name runs like a 4.2.
Ted Ginn.
Ted Ginn runs like a 4.2. It's like one of the fastest times in history, and it's like, well,
right. He'd still get beat by Usain Bolt.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to see that race.
Lewis, what was your 40 time in your prime? About 5.2?
I don't know. I never ran those kind of things because I probably could run.
You had an ego.
I could probably run a 4.4.
4.4 in the day.
In the day.
4.3 probably.
I don't think 4.3 was possible. I think 4.3 is a whole different level.
It is.
I think, I think
4.4 is a whole different level. To be honest,
I could run. I ran 10.8 100 meters.
It's not bad.
So
it's not bad.
How about zinc?
5.5.
Yeah.
On the Richter
flat.
Angel?
I don't know.
I think Angel and
we're really going to go through this right now.
Angel and zinc, that would be a good race.
That's what the people want to hear. Let's pull this one back there.
Let's wrap up.
Yeah. Erkley, you're what did you learn from today's action?
I learned that on any given Friday night.
You're really going to start this off by saying that?
Why not?
Just get to the point here.
Hey.
Red.
Nobody's bulletproof.
Okay. Please explain that.
Because tonight, our top 3 teams, Rev,
Vista, none of them lost.
They didn't lose, but they got a little nervous there for a moment.
Yeah, well, this high school football, of course, there's going to be some times where, you have to be tested, and I think our top teams responded.
Yeah, but I think, as we could see with 16, 17-year-old kids, sometimes they get a little bit caught up in the moment too much. You need to be all
This is
business.
a revelation by Chris Erkley
You need to be
Coach
like
Erkley.
Jordan, Kobe, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, the greats.
Where is this going?
Zoned in.
Where is this
Lewis
going?
is telling me wrap it up. Yeah, I'm trying to be Aristotle over here, and I'm just being shunned.
Who was one of our guests called you coach earlier in the year? I forget who that was.
Who was what?
One of our guests called you coach earlier in the year. I think it was our
it was the Rancho Verde wide receiver.
Breon Redmond.